we'll start with the World Cup, and it was the right result, wasn't it, Maestro? 1-0 to Spain. Argentina, not one shot on target. Spain have won the World Cup, by my calculations, having 10 shots on target against. So Emi Martinez made more saves today than Unai Simon did in the entire tournament, and they conceded 1 goal as well. Fully deserving title winners, world champions for a second time.
Indeed. Somebody said, I think it might have been our big friend Mark, it would have been an affront to football had Argentina managed to win that game, given how negative they were. I don't know if you feel like I do, Adam. It felt to me like they watched the France game and went, well, they're better than us.
Yeah.
And they just got wiped off the pitch. So all we have in our locker is basically to play the old-fashioned, sort of unfair unfair impression of South American football, where you fight, you scrap, you sit, you kick, you scratch, and it all boiled over.
Exactly. And then punch. Exactly. We'll get to that in a moment.
It boiled over after the 120 minutes, didn't it? But Spain, too classy.
It was IQ v emotion, IQ won. And not saying that Spain don't have emotion, not saying that Argentina don't have IQ. But on balance, they were playing with more emotion, and Spain with clearer heads and better football. And, well, touch on it in a moment. But let's hear the winning moment. Ferran Torres off the bench into Spanish folklore.
Here's Yamal. Plays it back to Porro, lifts the ball into the back post, and there's a header laid back, and the shot is! There it is! Ferran Torres! Ferran Torres! He has launched it in with the volley, Ferran Torres! And they run off in jubilation, Spain. They take a 1-0 lead at the very start of the second half of extra time.
They took their time. And, I mean, Lamine Yamal had a great chance in the first 2 minutes of the game. Couldn't quite take it. Argentina defended well. Spain didn't quite dominate in that final third. Getting the ball to that stage was a joy to watch. And this is just embedded in the Spanish football DNA about how they go about that. And this goes back to, ironically enough, the 70s and 80s when they were seen in world football as a bit of a, not team of thugs, but they were a very physical side. Spanish football was recognised as, they've always had Real Madrid dominating European Cup, Champions League from the start of that particular competition in the 50s. But that was on the basis of some amazing players from every part of the world. But Spanish football looked within itself in the 80s. Obviously didn't like what it saw. And then Johan Cruyff, the great Dutchman, great Dutch philosopher in football, philosophizer in the words of Shaq, came back to Barcelona, obviously played there, came back as a coach late 80s, changed the way Barcelona play, all based on technique and intelligence and IQ, all of those things. Not taking away the characteristics of, standing up for yourself in a challenge and everything, but the basis of what you exist on a football pitch is technique and all of that. When it comes to that, I bash that Bible hard in terms of that kind of thought about football. That's the way to play and win football in my eyes and many people's eyes. And the Spanish Federation actually agreed after Johan Cruyff came back to Barcelona, put his imprint on that particular club. The Spanish Federation looked at it and went, well, I think they're onto something here. And they changed their ways. And they didn't just say, oh, we're going to do that. They actually walked the walk instead of just talking the talk. And they underwent this huge rollout of coach education with those principles in mind. And throughout the 90s, they're just educating as many people involved in football as possible at the highest possible level, coaches. So what do you have when you've got coaches who are implementing the right ideas to young players? Well, you've got those young players growing up with those ideas as an imprint. Lionel Messi went there as a young man and built on what he already had. Obviously, he was a natural freak. You see those grainy pictures of him as a 10-year-old in bare pitches in Argentina doing his thing. Not much has changed there, but the Spanish philosophy kind of rolls into the 2000s, and then it finally beds. It takes a while to bed down, and then it finally beds down, and then they have this era which is just mind-blowing. 08, 2010, 2012, the men's side going Euros, World Cup Euros. It's not an absolute guarantee that you're going to have success off the back of this. Eras come and go. They had a fantastic era in that era I was just talking about with those trophies. hadn't won a knockout game. 2014 bombed out in the group stage. 2018, 2022, 2026, the regeneration, top young players in the spine as well, key players, and they won another World Cup, and they've done it in women's football as well. I remember speaking to someone in women's football 10 years ago, before Spain had done anything in women's football, and they went, they're doing the same. Watch. There's another tsunami coming. And sure enough, they get to the 2023 World Cup and did what they did here in Australia. As for Argentina, well, their approach was they couldn't have done much more in a tactical, tactically, full stop. Lionel Messi was starved of possession. They stopped supply to him, I think, got to the 80th minute, and he barely had 30 touches of the ball. First half, he touched the ball 15 times in 45 minutes. The best play I think we've all seen. You're on that page, aren't you?
Yeah, very much so.
Starved of it. That's what they do. They not only keep possession, but when they lose it, they starve the opposition of what they're trying to do, and they starve 4 French superstars in the front third of the pitch. Did the same with Messi, and that was all she wrote as far as Argentina were going. So no shots until 110th minute, I think it was, when Messi who slammed that ball against Mikel Merino's head? That was their first shot, I'm pretty sure. And that was Spain defending their lead. I got the feeling, like, when full-time happened, I went, Argentina could quite possibly become the first team to win the World Cup without having a shot in the game because of winning on penalties, because Emi Martinez was having a career day. He was superb in Argentina's goal. But in the end, it finally broke down. That goal to Ferran Torres, beautifully called by Jordan Canellis, and if you noticed him, I'm not sure if you did, Bozza in commentary. Very excited about the fact that there was a goal, and fair enough too. It was a long time coming. But we've spoken of head losses, and we love a good head loss here, but like we waited until the final for the gold medal head loss, and it came. It came from the Argentinians.
Well, it came from Leandro Paredes, who looked a chance of doing it from the moment he stepped on the field after half time. He was brought on almost like a provocateur, and I think it worked to an extent, but he got himself booked after 10 minutes of being on. Was lucky not to be sent off after that, and then eventually was after the game's complete.
He's an overly aggressive bouncer, an unnecessarily overly aggressive bouncer. You know those ones.
Technically gifted player is what he, I don't think that's what Scaloni brought him on for.
No.
You don't? You disagree?
I think he let him be that.
He
didn't tell him not to.
Yeah.
But he was obviously brought in because they changed their shape a little bit to try and do something and get in the game. But yeah, he's like one of those bouncers you see you accidentally brush shoulders with walking into a pub or mate, watch it. I said, what? I didn't do anything. He was just itching for a fight. And after the game, it actually broke out. There was a massive stink after the game. Molina, another Argentinian sub, was standing there, and Rodri went on to sprint to his teammates to celebrate. He had the bib on. Molina just punched him in the guts. And then Rodri turned around and went over to him, confronted him, and that's when it kicked off because other Argentinians came in, and that's when Paredes decided to turn it into the Royal Rumble and got himself a red card. Knowing FIFA, he'd probably cop a 2-game ban or something like that. It was a disgrace the way they were carrying on. An absolute disgrace. But they took it well. That's the main thing.
Well, getting reports now on Twitter as well, Adam. So Scaloni went out, did his press conference, didn't get through it, basically cried and...
Well, let's have a listen.
Here we go. Here's Leo.
Volver a resetearse, volver a formar un grupo como este, que difícilmente se vuelve a formar. Y me duele el alma. Lo siento.
So that's Scaloni, their manager, who is, like, I rate him highly, the way he conducts himself. He raced in to try and break up the fight. He had really kind words before the game as well. And around the England game, there was a lot of emotion, but he held his head. But you're about to say there's more reports coming out?
Well, the players, after leaving the waiting media, the world's media, for 2 hours, waiting basically for them to walk through the mix zone and do some interviews, have refused. and have not turned up. So I think there's a sad way for this Argentina team to be remembered, but we've seen this in the past. They did it in 1990. Coming out of that game, had 2 players sent off in the final against Germany. You can go back to even Brazil in 74 after the great team of 1970 basically tried to kick the Netherlands out of the tournament. So we have seen this from reigning champions before, but I think it's a disappointing note to end the tenure of Messi at the head of this team on. After all the good that they've done in the world of football over the last 10 to 12 years.
Is Donald Trump still on the stage, wondering where to stand?
How farcical was that?
Say what you will, like I'm not getting into the. It was just it was an interesting look, put it that way.
It was anything but a surprise, though.
No, but Gianni Infantino. I don't think he's ever going to make it as an usher or in terms of an organizer because he didn't really know where to put him,
didn't he?
He's like Donald Trump was like the uncle who's having a great time at the 21st birthday party, the old uncle, and then the youngsters go, righto, we're kicking on at the so-and-so hotel. We're going for afters. And the uncle's like, should I go or is this my time to say au revoir? I don't know what to do. I don't know where to stand. I don't know how to act. What am I doing? Anyway, odd look. But it was always going to be an odd look. Celebrities everywhere. Halftime show. I went out for a coffee. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I was exactly the same. Exactly the same.
Yeah. A 15-minute walk, door-to-door walk for my coffee in the morning. It's beautiful for half times, but get back and it was got the tail end of it. Wayne Rooney called it. I like you hear Wayne Rooney's comment?
Yeah.
I like all those artists, but that was crap. Anyway, fun old World Cup comes to an end. Let us know what you thought of that this morning and who won. Did you rate that? Who lost? Did you rate that? Yeah. Hi, Adam. Argentina cheats in 66, 78, 86, 90, now second worst final, 94. Now this team brings a shame on the world game. Their rugby union team is the same. Love seeing them lose. It's coming home in 2030. Cheers, Dave from Brizzy. Wouldn't hold an English passport as well, would you, Dave, by any chance?
There were shades of Antonio Ratin for those really deep in their football in 66 who basically made a maelstrom of the quarterfinal against England by refusing to leave the pitch after he'd been sent off. There was a bit of that about Enzo Fernandez. There
was. I was going, are they going to need to get the cops out there and get him off? Good afternoon, Adam. Who fired more of a shot this weekend, Argentina or the West Tigers? Ben from the bush. That's harsh on the West Tigers, bringing it in. Always kind of cop a little drive by the West Tigers. Paredes landed more shots than his entire team did in the entire game. But anyway, Roger is the king. Starved Liverpool of EPL titles and Argentina of back-to-back. Cam, yep, 100%. Worthy winner of the Golden Ball, which is the player of the tournament.
This time for Africa.
I didn't mind seeing Shakira in the halftime show. It was all right. She didn't sing that, though, did she?
No, she didn't.
This anthem, 2026 one.
That's right. Which has been everywhere, which is the reason I haven't played that from the break here. I've heard it enough. It's done. It's finished.
That's probably the most famous anthem. Or Ricky Martin.
Oh,
98.
I think Couple of Life is my personal favourite.
Couple of Life was 98?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it, the halftime, the pre-game was probably better than Diana Ross missing an open goal in 1994, the opening ceremony.
I think they've figured it out a bit since then, the Americans. But that was around the era of the the Janet Jackson Super Bowl incident.
Oh, it was a bit after that.
It was
Michael
after
Jackson
that?
played the halftime of that 94
World Cup final?
Was he at the World Cup? He certainly played around that era as well. He played a Super Bowl.
Have to chase that up.
Anyway. Yeah, I can't see. I think the World Cup final in 2030, if I'm not mistaken, will be in Madrid.
They haven't decided yet, Adam.
Oh, they haven't decided.
The Moroccan Prince Rabat Stadium has really put its best foot forward to try and host that World Cup final. I think you're right. The Bernabeu will be the front runner, but the Moroccans will have their say.
Well, that's got a planned capacity of 115,000 people, the one in Morocco.
Which is exactly why they're having their say.
Yikes. They've just done up Camp Nou. It's Barcelona's famous home ground, and the Bernabeu is probably the most modern football stadium going around. So, yeah, some good contenders. That will be a good World Cup. But let's do an ode to the World Cup, shall we? In terms of what we saw, what we took in. I've got a few moments here, and you can expand, if you like, on the points or knock them down or add at the end if you want, Maestro. How do you want to play this?
Well, you have your say first because you put this list together, and there are some very interesting ones here that I'm keen to see how you explore before I respond cynically.
So what am I going to miss about the World Cup? I'm going to miss players like Sydney Lopez Cabral scoring an absolute beauty for Cape Verde, who stunned us all, and then running to the grandstand and waiting for his girlfriend to come down from seat double Z 46 to eventually get there 45 seconds later for the hug, which means so much to both of them, especially to Sydney, that not only put him in the good books, but has him written in stone in the good books, surely. What a goal. What a moment for Ronaldo scoring against Uzbekistan, the might of.
Thank goodness they overturned that ban or suspended that ban.
That's right.
So that he could play in that game. He wasn't meant to play in that game, Adam.
He was not. A few people saying that he didn't play in the game before it, but that's by the by. But it was good to see him score, and he trots off to be managed by Ange Postecoglou at his Saudi club. Fascinated to see how that goes. I'm sad because I lived through it, and we're not going to have a situation like this again until the next major championship, maybe at the Asian Cup, but certainly the European Championships, which is in the UK in 2028. The end of Austria-Algeria was one part the most boring football you've ever seen, one part the best football you've ever seen. They passed it around for 20 minutes, not wanting to corrupt the result, either team. And then Algeria decided, oh, hang on a minute, we've got all the ball here. I think it was 115 passes in a row before they zipped it forward to Riyad Mahrez, and they ended up with a goal, Algeria. And then 30 seconds later, Austria scored to keep themselves in the tournament because Algeria twisted their position. Austrians obviously ended up bumping into Spain, and that was a bridge too far. I won't be sad to see the back of the FIFA disciplinary committee, and next time they reconvene, maybe they might not turn over a red card that is a red card, unfortunately, a really, really harsh one, but overturn it on account of a call from the White House. Probably the most disgraceful thing that happened during the World Cup.
Top of a fairly long list.
Well, not overly long. I thought it was going to be longer.
I'd agree with that.
But that was bad.
That was bad. And it was consistently bad from FIFA throughout the tournament.
See what the ramifications may be in the coming months. Probably not. Gianni Infantino, and the way that everything is voted on in world football, Infantino can do without Europe because all of Europe blew up about it, UEFA. But he can just go and get his votes elsewhere and remain in power. What do you make of his suit and sneakers look this morning?
Oh, so relatable, Adam.
It's the FIFA uniform. They all have to wear that.
Is that right?
All workers for FIFA, like the broadcast people, the officials, everyone like that.
Suit and sneakers.
If you work for FIFA, it's a dark blue suit, white shirt, white sneakers.
Nothing to say you're up to date like that.
We did get a text before as well, likening De La Fuentes, the Spanish coach. This from the Coastal Contrarian. Is the Spanish coach Lee Hadjipentelis' twin brother? Not bad.
I think Lee would be happy with that.
Yeah.
Don't you? He's a good-looking man, Luis de la Fuente.
I think Luis is a little better on the tooth, if you know what I mean, than Lee.
Lee's just
it's not far off.
Older, more experienced brother, isn't he?
Back to the Ode. What about the time early in the tournament the US thought that they could win the World Cup?
Zlatan, I want one word from you. Can the US win this World Cup, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, Zlatan has spoken.
That was Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who is not from America, has played in America, but even he was drinking from the deep well of Kool-Aid that was forming throughout the punditry and fans of America before basically the White House did Belgium's team talk, Rudy Garcia's team talk before that game, and had them more motivated than I reckon I've seen any team aside from Argentina at this tournament. Belgium for that game, and they absolutely gave it to the US.
I'm glad the World Cup will escape the hands of the United States.
For now. I don't mind emerging nations, and it's actually a very good thing. Hang on. It's actually a very good thing if football, soccer, strengthens in America for the Australian market. Because that will emerge as one of the key markets to sell our players to, the first step overseas.
I'm happy for
it gets
football to
stronger.
emerge for footballing people in the United States, for soccer people,
Soccer.
not for people just flying. Not so I can look at camera cutaways of Leonardo DiCaprio.
But what about football people being Mike Greller? Are you going to be happy for them if football?
Mike follows the game.
Okay,
It's fine.
he's a football person. What is abundantly clear to me, though, out of this World Cup is that the establishment is so well established, it's not funny. No one's getting near those big European nations, with the exception of Brazil and Argentina anytime soon.
And the closest was Morocco, who were rolled over in that quarterfinal. They are the closest.
Yeah.
Does hosting give them a leg up for you?
Yeah, definitely. They'll be horrid to try and play in Morocco in terms of getting past them on home soil. But yeah, the fact that all the best players of those nations are playing in the best leagues in the world and they're only getting better and there's so much depth. I can't see anyone breaking. Went into the tournament thinking 6 teams could win, leaving out Germany and Netherlands. Outside that 6, I can't see any of those 6 winning the next World Cup. I'm going to miss Korean journalists going to a press conference after they get knocked out and asking the coach directly, that performance was so bad, did your team have food poisoning? It's possibly the greatest question in World Cup history. The gall.
Will that be when Australia's emerged as a proper football playing nation, when our journalist walks into the press conference and goes, Popper, did you have something special before the game today? Is that why you decided to take Patrick Beach off before a penalty shootout?
Did the chef serve up some dodgy nachos last night? Some off sour cream on top of it. I'll miss coaches losing a grip on reality after getting beaten 3-0 by Morocco in a knockout stage game. Here's Jesse Marsh from Canada.
What a privilege our fans have had to root a team on like this, that goes after the game, that doesn't play defensive, that shows that they can be better, right? Of course, we have to be in these situations more and more, and then we have to find ways to succeed, and then we have to build from that. But what a great team. I'd rather be us than them. As good as Morocco is, I'd rather be us.
What? I think we saw Jesse at the halftime show introducing Justin Bieber today. Ted Lasso.
That's the bit of American soccer I can leave out.
Yeah. I get the enthusiasm. I also love reality. Erling Haaland. I'll miss him becoming the internet's fascination outside of football circles. It was like, look at this big, tall Norwegian dude. Isn't he fascinating?
You want to expand the reach of the game?
Yeah.
There's a personality to do it for you.
Exactly.
Don't need a halftime show.
No.
Some pretty good characters are already playing the game, Adam.
I'll miss the Viking row too.
Very much so.
Coming to Bruce
The
Stadium.
Norwegian fans. Fantastic.
Coming to Bruce Stadium before you know it.
Already
Do you reckon they're going to
it's
go
already
from
arrived.
a clap to row?
Yeah,
They're doing
it's already,
it.
yeah.
Oh, they did it on the weekend.
I've seen them doing it a couple of times over the course of this World Cup already.
Mm.
It's already arrived.
Fair enough.
Well done, Canberra fans.
Okay. But I'll miss watching Australia play in the World Cup. I've missed it for a couple of weeks, of course, because how good was this?
And Australia, courtesy of an errant touch by a Turkish player on the attack here. It's Conor Metcalf! Oh my word! Oh my goodness! What a goal by Conor Metcalf! Something out of nothing from the edge of the penalty area. It is an arrow-like finish with the left peg, and he's now smothered by jubilant Australians. And why not? The Socceroos hear this back in Australia, lead Turkey by 2-0.
There's nothing like it. And I obviously wasn't here when it happened. You were. How good was it? Wherever you were.
I lost my shit, for lack of a better term, Adam. It was absolutely brilliant. And I'm smiling, thinking it and hearing it. Simon captures that just so beautifully, doesn't it? It's been terrific to have him calling Australian games back in Australia as well.
And we get to look forward to the Women's World Cup in 2027. And hopefully someone like Sam Kerr is doing that for the Matildas. But in a wider sense, again, going to get a bit crass here. Use the word that Maestro just used. As long as everyone in Australian football gets their shit together, and the key word being together, and working together to push it forward so we can enjoy moments like that together, that'd be grand. Not holding my breath. Back in a sec. Thanks for watching. Now, if you want more, subscribe to this channel on YouTube or hit up SEN Football on both Instagram and or TikTok.